Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 484 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Ayalon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our fifth book just came out. It's called Perseverance and How to Be a Great Fraternity or Sorority Alumnus. So go and pick up that book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, stress and anxiety is something that every college student I talk to, they are all experiencing that stress and anxiety right now. That being the case, instead of using medications and other strategies to manage that, I thought there might be something a little bit more holistic that we could do in order to benefit our audience today. And I happened to meet a very interesting couple that just might have the answer that we've all been looking for. So let's talk to our next guest. Reverend Dr. Nicole Sebastian is a clinical psychologist. Nicole's titles have included clinical director, certified clinical supervisor, a certified addictions counselor, EMDR certified, a DUI specialist, certified fitness trainer. I mean, it goes on, including ordained minister. Nicole is an author, a professional public speaker, and she has shared her experiences throughout the country. Nicole was actually recognized by the Cambridge Who's Who as a tribute to her worldwide achievements. We also have with us her husband, Reverend Nicole Sebastian. He is a behavioral sociologist, an ordained minister, an entrepreneur, a university professor, and a Vietnam veteran, which we are very, very grateful for your service to our country. So thank you for that. And Michael has taught at universities throughout the country. He's also written extensively on the subject of spiritual sociology. Additionally, he was featured in People magazine and recognized by the Wall Street Journal for his business acumen and his ingenuity. Welcome to the show, Nicole and Mike.
Hey, Michael, good to be
for
here.
having us on, Mikey Mike.
Yay.
You get two mics for the price of one today. You see how beneficial this is?
Get a double bang for your buck.
There you go. Right on. Hey.
So this is going to be really fun. I can tell already. Now, you two have been a couple. You've been married for over 25 years now, which is just amazing. I haven't quite hit 25 years. I'm at, 23 with my wife. So I'm 2 years behind you guys. So how did you guys meet?
We actually met in a dream in a college classroom, if you can imagine that.
No, tell me more.
I love this show because of your audience, because I've gone through a PhD program, so has Nick, who spent most of our life in college. And it's about two things, really. Making your grades and dating. That's where I met Nick. And actually, when I was teaching in Texas at the university, I had a dream. And it was a very clear dream. And luckily, I journaled the dream and woke up just so I would remember. And in the dream, I met a girl. And her name was Nicole. She looked like exactly like this Nicole. And fast forward, if you will, 3 years. I forgot about the dream, put the dream journal away. 3 years passed, which I'm still teaching at the university. Yes, he walks into the classroom. Dream girl.
Now, he did not remember the dream, Mike. He doesn't remember the dream at all. But when he walked into the classroom, we're sitting there on the first day, right? As the students do, you wait for the teacher to come in, and he walked in, he's got on his little blue jeans and his hiking boots and his flannel, and he's throwing a ball up in the air, and he's just leaning against the chalkboard. And the inner voice starts screaming, "This is your soulmate. You're going to marry this guy. You have a mission together." And mind you, he's twice my age. He's my professor. I was only 24 years old. So I'm like, what the heck's going on here? I said nothing, except I ran home to my roommate. I did tell her, I said, "Heather, I'm going to marry this guy in a heartbeat." She thought I was nuts. I continued to stay quiet. The semester went. I did get my A on my own merit. Then the next semester, I saw him in the hallway and I asked him out. I said, "Hey, let's do lunch." We did lunch the next day, dinner the next night. You're engaged in 90 days and married in 9 months. Now, mind you, I don't know about his dream, and he doesn't know about my intuitive hunch. Okay, we're just kind of cruising side by side here.
And luckily, she didn't tell me about that when she walked into the class, but I would have thought she was a star.
Wow.
Dream, looking back, after I found the dream in a journal, later and read the whole thing, it was so detailed. She, in the dream, she was wearing a purple outfit, and she had actually worn a purple.
I picked that purple outfit intentionally to catch his attention.
It changed my life when I realized dreams were giving me a snapshot, the prophecy of where my life was going to go 3 years down the way. It was going to take a minute, maybe to return, I was going to marry this girl and go a totally different direction. So I started paying attention to the dreams really for the first time.
But you know what, Michael? When we started dating, he was dating 5 other girls simultaneously.
Oh my goodness.
And that's how college is. It's crazy, and you're dating, and whether you're the teacher or the kids doesn't really matter. You know, he had already been married, dating 5 people. I was in a long-term relationship and had been ghosted, and and so we've been through these trials. But then when you meet the one, it just, things change, and intuitively, you can't like convince someone this is the one and I'm in love. It's just something intuitively, and you've got to ride that out to see what happens,
It's like, when you ask someone, you're in love, they go, yes, but they can't explain it. But that's one of the things that we all know. We either know it or we don't. And if we don't know it, it's really that.
Wow, that is just incredible. Now I got to start writing down all my dreams so that way I can, recollect them years later and not miss anything. Unbelievable. I mean, so Mike, you're a behavioral sociologist. Dr. Nick, you're a clinical psychologist. Talk to our audience about how these two worlds help you to conquer stress and anxiety in our public mental health crisis that we're all experiencing right now.
Those two worlds really are the whole enchilada, and I like connection. So the point is, psychology looks at your perspective and your beliefs, how you develop them, and sociology looks at how you implement those beliefs and perspectives in your community or your society, the larger globe. And when you put them together, you really get the whole picture. So in that sense, I feel, and I've always felt, we have an overview of human behavior, why people do things, and how they react to a social setting. And it led to actually the development of a modern day mystery school. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit that just started it. And we developed it and started it because
of the mental crisis, yes. And so we're so excited to be here today because before the show's over, we're going to share with you and your audience the one magic word that's going to conquer stress and anxiety. And we're going to give them access to our free Dream Decoder mini course. So you guys won't get blindsided. You're going to remember your dreams, decode your dreams, and start rocking and rolling.
Wow,
So
this sounds really interesting to me. All right, so let's talk about it because our college students, they do want to conquer stress. They want to conquer the anxiety. They want this, to fix the sleepless nights. You have this one-step therapy and you call it Just Say Who. What exactly is this?
It's so cool. One-step therapy, just say who. We call it the Holy Grail, and we call it the universal panacea. We also call it one magic word. It's like, what is one-step therapy? It's actually one magic word. The word is Q, H-U-Q. I'm going to give you a demo, then we'll back into it.
All right.
You inhale and simply, eyes open or closed, out loud or silent. You could do it while you're studying. You could do it while you're sitting in class, while you're sitting in a meeting, or, while you're watching television. It's that user-friendly, Michael.
It does seem very relaxing. So I like it. And I like that I can either verbalize it or I can just do it in my mind and I'm getting similar thoughts. What is the historical background on where this came from? Just say Hugh.
You got it. We're going to give you the history and the science.
It goes
All
back at least 5,000 years, if we can track.
Uh-huh.
Further than that, if we go back to ancient Egypt and the Sphinx, and the Sphinx itself used to be called by the Egyptians Hugh, H-U, if they actually called it Hugh. Greeks came in, took over, changed it. They didn't know what they called it Sphinx, which means unknown. But they used to all gather there, the ancient Egyptians, from dusk till dawn. The whole society would gather together and hew. So they would do a hue change from dusk till dawn because it generated a vibration, a healing vibration. It went out into the community, out into the society. And then the hue is literally in, maybe a dozen different sacred books from the Bible and the Kabbalah, and you name it.
It's actually the Masons' secret movie.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I don't want to give out any trade secrets. I don't want the Masons coming after us now.
You want to be looking over the shoulder, how the Mason.
Right. Now I'm looking over my shoulder. A Mason's going to come and hit me across the back of the head now.
Now, the cool thing is based on vibrational therapy and vibroacoustic therapy. Okay, so you've got your central nervous system comprised of cells, comprised of atoms, comprised of subatomic particles. That's all we are, is one big ball of energy that vibrates at a certain rate and frequency. So when you that actual vibration and frequency, and we've tested this for 25 years with clients, with ourselves, we've got EEG data, etc. Oximeter data, we've got aura photography data, we've got all kinds of data. Anyway, that frequency lifts you above the planes of duality, Michael. See, the ohm only takes you to the mental plane, the fourth plane. You're still in the planes of duality. The hue, actually, that vibration takes you above duality and lifts. That's why you get the extra edge. It combines the right and left brain. It activates your intuition. And because when you change the vibration, you actually change the frequency. So the anxiety leaves, the insomnia leaves, the depression leaves. Michael used it for his PTSD from Vietnam.
When I got back from Vietnam, I had severe PTSD. I was in the infantry. So I come back, I was depressed, I was suicidal almost every day, a lot of anxiety, nightmares. I found the hue. I was on the way to the VA, to the docks. And before I got there, I found the hue. I decided to put the docks on hold. I started healing on a daily basis for maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day. In a very, very short period of time, all of those dramatic symptoms simply went away. The vibration, I could feel the vibration changing, literally the anxiety and the fear within me. So I got rid of the PTSD using the hue.
Oh, you know what? Since we're in school here, I actually clept out of 2 courses, college level exam preparatory class, so you can take the test and get the credit without sitting through the semester. I clept out of 2 courses just with using the hue. Yes, yes, and not my area, mathematics and IT, not my specialties, but the hue I was able to clep out. So for your students with test taking, oh my gosh, hue silently during the test, hue before the test so they can prepare and reduce that anxiety. Oh yeah.
All right, listen, I mean, we'll try anything and see if it works. I mean, that sounds very interesting to me. And, you mentioned the dream interpretation. I got to ask you guys, because I've had this recurring dream my entire life that I'm completely unprepared for a test that I'm going to take in school. Yet I don't even have any tests. Okay. All I do now is write papers for my doctorate program. I've had that same dream, even times that I'm not in school at all, but I will wake up feeling that I'm unprepared for an exam that I'm about to take. So what does this dream typically mean?
Procrastination. Word, yeah, procrastination, Michael.
And a fear of being unprepared for something on a daily basis that you're coming in contact with, like fear that, oh, I'm not ready for a video. I know I have had a very similar dream to that night. That's really what we all have. That's what it's indicating. So, all you need to do is basically adjust some things, step into it. And that dream, literally, when you've adjusted, you'll know you've done good because the dreams go away. They won't go away. Those type of dreams are going away. As soon as I've done something out there to correct it, the dream goes away. So that's a good dream. It's telling you, hey, maybe you need to step up and address something that's
Okay. All right. Well, listen, that's certainly very helpful. How do we heighten our awareness using quantum physics of all things?
Oh, Michael's favorite. He's a layman quantum physicist. Oh my God, I'm gonna let him go ahead.
It's called simple quantum physics. So I've been reading quantum for maybe 20 years. And if the truth is, everything is a vibration. That's what quantum means. It's really simplistic. And a particle together, subatomic particle together, everything vibrates. That's all there is. And that vibration, when we tap into it, literally, we're able to expand our consciousness. I see things more clearly. I pick up my intuition gets turned on. That's a vibratory technique. It goes. And when I do, it turns on my intuition, and suddenly I become aware of things I was not aware of before. So really, it's a quantum physics technique, and it can be used by anyone, but it's valid in the sense that there is no stronger, higher, finer vibration than the quantum physics vibration when we're able to tap into that.
The 0 point field.
Yeah, when we tap into that 0 point field, they call it in quantum, automatically the consciousness expands, and I see things more fully, understand things more quickly. So it's really a good way to go, and it uses the natural tools and techniques that quantum physics brings to the table. It's always there, it's always waiting. And it's kind of interesting because it taught me to be in the now, because quantum says there is no past or present. That's only something that we devise within ourselves. Everything is in the moment. That's all there is, the now. And when I try to step into the now, suddenly things really expand for me. I see things very clearly.
Wow, I knew nothing about quantum physics. I'm getting a physics lesson here, and I knew absolutely nothing about it coming into it. I'll tell you that. All right. Well, listen, this is all helpful. Sometimes the college students, they're really struggling with their decision making. And I think it stems from the fact that they really just fear making mistakes. I think that's the main issue. So how can we cultivate superior decision making?
Okay. This goes right back to one magic word, which is the cue.
Uh-huh.
By cueing daily, see, there's 3 levels. There's like cueing in a pinch. You've got a moment, you've got a test, you're going to go on a date, you're, this type of thing, anxious, what have you. Cueing in a pinch. Then there's implementing it daily, in daily practice, whether it's, we always say no more than 20 minutes. No. You could do 4 5-minute cues, 2 10-minute cues, or a 20-minute cue, whenever works for the person. But using it daily will naturally, as Michael mentioned, heighten your awareness, heighten your intuition. It combines the right and the left brain in such a superior way that it's like tapping into your Jedi Knight self, or like Neo in The One. It just brings this wholeness. So you've got broader vision, and you have access to the past, present, and future. Oh, yes. This is what's so cool, Michael. You don't get burned or blindsided, because as it amplifies your innate abilities, you actually start noticing things. You notice a sign, you remember a dream, or you got your gut feeling, right? And it's a trio of methodology that we've actually perfected in a system, but that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, simply by using one magic word, which is the cue, out loud or silent, etc., eyes open or closed, you will be forewarned of things. You're going to know what choice to make. And let's say you made the wrong choice, right? And something's coming around the corner, you're going to be warned. So 2 things, so cool. You can make a course correction, or it's going to soften the blow because you knew it was coming anyway. So either way, you are so strapped. Oh my God. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
All of this from one magic word. This is
So
incredible.
real. Oh, you know what? I didn't even tell you the where it comes from. It's in the Oxford English Dictionary. It's in the word human. The word human, Michael, it means God man, God within man. We all have the power within us, whether it's God or energy. I don't get bogged down with semantics here. I work with too many people of different faiths, atheists, agnostics, etc. So that's not what the point is. The point is, it's that power within us, human, the like I said, Jedi Knight self. Right.
Mhm.
It's really just to summarize, it's that whole brain activity, because I remember when all my years in college, even went to law school for a couple of years, it was like, I always looked at the data, it was all left brain stuff, all left brain, constantly analyzing stuff, which is fine. But I ran into people who were, oh, how'd you know that so quick? And they were using their intuition along with the data in the left brain. They had that whole brain going on for it. Once I started doing vibrational toning techniques, like the hue, one magic word, suddenly my intuition took over. And with the data, I was getting snapshots of other things that were around me that I would have never noticed without the intuitive ability going with the data. So it's really a tremendous advantage to college. Yeah.
Okay, listen, I'm fascinated. I mean, if it's a natural solution that we can all do and practice in person, then I think it's certainly something to look at. I'm wondering about like television and screens in general, because it seems like right now that is America's drug of choice, is television, phone screens, etc. How do we, as a public, how do we rid ourselves of all of these addictions to screens?
Oh my God, this is too cool. This is as if you knew us before you knew us by asking this question, okay?
Mhm.
Got two answers and two techniques for your audience. Of course, one magic word, because as an addictionologist, I always say to my clients, whether it's heroin, Doritos, or TV, add the hue, add one magic word, don't change anything, and don't worry about it. Add the hue, and what happens, they come back to me. I'm not smoking as much. I want to bring down my methadone dose that's been the same for 8 years. Things just start changing internally, and then the effort. It's an effortless thing to fight addiction is what I found. The fight leaves, Michael. So if people just add one magic word, their higher self is going to take the lead. And our higher self is the disciplined self. You know what I'm saying? The little self is the ego. It wants what it wants. The higher self is the loving and the patient. So when you hue, your higher self runs the show. So we're going to say two things. One, add one magic word and don't worry about your addictions. They will gently release themselves. Number two, Michael did the coolest study when he was teaching. In a sociology 101, he always said you can write a paper or you can do an electronic deprivation study, and you're going to get an A on it if you just do it, and you can be honest, 1 week, no electronics. Now, remember, I took his class. Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't watched TV since, and we're talking 25 years ago.
25 years?
Yeah. So now we like our movies, don't get me wrong, but as far as TV, and nope. And that was back when 90210 was on TV.
Yeah, I remember that show. That was my favorite show.
Now I'm going to let Michael tell you the study real quick. It's so cool for your students.
And I started just out of the blue, and I was putting stats up on the board, how much TV everyone watched, and I go around the class, and everybody was honest because they didn't know where I was going with it. And most people watch anywhere to 4 to 8, 10 hours a day. And I said, I'll give you a challenge. Kind of came to, if you can turn that TV off for 1 week and just write a one-page journal. What did you do instead? You'll get an A. There you go. You don't have to write the other papers and stuff. And I said, I don't have to worry about it because you don't have the discipline to do that. You're way too weak to do that. They started getting ripped off. You can hear the players then. So they tried it. And it was a revelation to me as I'm reading through the journals. What happened, they turned it off and they started calling their parents. Their relationships got better. They stopped eating a bunch of junk food. They started feeling more in harmony. It literally, they were saying, oh my God, Mike had changed my life. And I didn't know all that was going to occur. So then I continued the experiment with other classes that I was teaching. And it was one of the most eye-opening, insightful things when people turned off that TV. It really happens. They go back to being their true self.
So we've got a challenge for them. They can turn everything off
Yep.
for a week or minimize. I know we've got our emails, etc., but minimize for a week, really try, or just add the hue and don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I tell you what, I mean, I remember 90210. That was definitely my favorite show. But also, I'm just thinking about the amount of time they were spending, those students watching TV. It's very similar to the students today in terms of their social media usage. You can swap TV for social media usage, and it's the same problem. Nothing has changed in 25 years.
Nothing like that.
You know, the Native Americans, years and years ago, they said, they had the saying that if you look at a picture, like a picture, it'll freeze the soul. And what they meant, they didn't mean that literally, they meant figuratively. When we look at a picture like TV or iPhone or even a laptop, it freezes us where we are. There's no emotional inner movement. In fact, that's where we stay frozen. There's no growth. And that's what happens when we turn that TV and sit there and there's no growth.
We're scrolling forever.
Right. That's what happens. That's it. That's exactly what happens. It's just an addiction, just like any other, just like television. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, listen, I certainly learned some new techniques. I'm going to go and try it out and I'll let you know if it works. I think this is fascinating. Now, my one weakness is it's not even social media or TV. It's really good food. Okay. I'm addicted to like fine cuisine around here. I want good food. I want good stuff. It could be a hole in the wall. It could be a 5-star Michelin restaurant. I don't care. If the food is good, I'm there. So when I'm in your neighborhood of the country, where should I be going for a great meal?
Buddies all day long.
Buddies
Buddies pizza.
Yeah.
Buddy's Pizza, huh? Okay. What town is that in?
We're in Detroit.
Detroit?
And
Okay.
there's locations all over. There was only a few, and now they just expanded recently. So now yes.
So I can go to Buddy's in a whole bunch of different cities now.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to try it out. Listen, you're talking to a New Yorker. You got to understand, I was born in Manhattan. So I know good pizza. All right. If I go to Buddy's and it's not as good as Manhattan
You
pizza,
email us either way.
I'm going to email you. I'm going to say,
You know what?
I tried Buddy's.
You know what? Here we go. If you don't like your meal, I'm going to pay for it.
There you go.
It's
I'm
okay.
going to pay for it. Yep.
Well, listen, pizza is like ice cream, like you can't find a bad one, even if it's bad, it's still pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
You got it. You got it.
It is my favorite food, pizza and sushi. So there you go.
Pizza and sushi is good for me too. I'm totally fine with that. All right. So if our listeners, if they want to buy your books or they want to work with you on workshops or seminars or coaching, where should they go to connect with you?
This is so cool because all that is fabulous, but I want everyone to get the free Dream Decoder mini course.
Okay.
So you just go onto the website, which is onesteptherapy.com. One Step Therapy. It can either be the number one or they can spell ONE. They both go to the same website. onesteptherapy.com and sign up for the newsletter, the Dream Decoder free mini course. There's one magic word in there. It's incorporated. So they're going to get both. They're going to get one magic word, the Dream Decoder mini course, and they're going to be on their way to meeting their soulmate in their dreams like we did, to not getting blindsided, to knowing if that online profile of that though is legit or not. The whole Scooby-Doo package. So just sign up for the freebie, and if they want anything else, it's all there too. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, you both, for spending some time with us today. This has been really helpful. And listen, if it's a natural solution to anxiety and stress, then I think it's certainly something for us to look at. So I appreciate all your time. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good day.
You got it. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation with Dr. Nick and Mike, I want you to like it and share it on social media. We'll see you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.